Hey guys, welcome back to the Average Joe Rating Climb. Before we start, a news update. So one of my previous opponents from last week, their account was actually closed. I got some points refunded, so I've updated the stats there. If you remember this game from last time, I'll go ahead and show you quickly. The opening was fine for me. I ended up getting into a pretty nice position going into the middle game. Actually, we had this weak pawn here on c4, which I talked about. I was able to target that with both of my pieces. Some tricky tactics here, but ultimately I came out on top. We ended up trading and going into the end game where I'm just up like a pawn. And then, if you remember, there was this really beautiful tactic that our opponent found here, our knight takes d5. I didn't actually show this properly in the video last time, but the idea is that even though it looks like I can just take the knight, at the end of everything, there's a skewer, and I'm losing my rook. Okay, so that's why I couldn't take the knight. And in the game, I tried to get tricky with knight b2 and attack the rook. And my idea is that after it moves, now I can take, and there's no longer a skewer because I simply take the rook. So I thought I had solved my problem, but I forgot to realize that after I take their knight, they can simply take my knight. And they still won that pawn on d5, and so now we just have 5 pawns against 5 pawns. It's just an even endgame. And then if you remember from the game, I also had one more opportunity to win. Towards the end there, I pushed these pawns on the side, and my mistake was right around here. I ended up trapping my rook, and now my rook is essentially stuck because if I ever try to move it, I'm going to lose my pawn, right? So what I needed to do was just kind of leave it maybe right around here and start pushing this pawn up first so that my rook has options to come over here and help stop this guy, and it would have been fine. Anyway, that account has been closed. That was the game I got refunded. Okay, having said that, let's go ahead and jump into the game for today. So here we go. I'm going to find a pairing. So we are 2155. We did get some points back, like I said, and so a little bit closer to our 2200 goal. Okay, against the English, we'll just keep it kind of consistent here. Recently, we've been sticking with these openings, so let me go ahead and do that. Kind of like a Dutch defense. Okay, so against g3, we don't have time to play b6 and get our bishop here because white is going to get their bishop there first. So what do we do against this? The best thing probably is to play a Stonewall. And that's where you put all your pawns on these light squares. And we're going to try to really limit their bishop. Okay, when they take you, I'm actually really happy. Why? Because this capture actually unleashes my bishop a little bit and gives me more options. So I'm very happy to see that trade. Okay, let's play c6 here. We don't want the knight jumping in and attacking our bishop that we're going to put on d6. Also, we want to blunt this guy, right? And so we put the pawn on c6. It's not very effective what this bishop's doing on g2. And my bishop is nice and opened up now because they made the trade, so I'm happy about that. Knight f3. Okay, let's just go with the normal plan. Bishop goes on d6. Probably going to be castling. Yep, let's go ahead and castle. Get the king out of the center. We do have to pay attention, right, to this diagonal because it is potentially open. If they play something like e4, queen b3, you know, maybe the knight can jump to g5. But we have time to react. We can play queen e8 to help support the light squares. We can also just tuck our king in the corner to get away from that. Looks like white wants to play b4. Now, I could play a5 and limit that, which I think is a very sensible move. I don't have to. I could also just leave it and not worry about it, but I kind of like it because if they are able to play b4, b5, they start undermining these pawns, and then the rook lands on c1. So I think it does make sense. We'll play a5, and we'll just make it a little bit more difficult for white to do this. I mean, if they really want to, they probably can play rook b1 and make it happen. But you'll notice that by including those trades, I've now activated my rook on the A file if they really want to play b4. And if they just play b3, that's fine, but we've gained some space over there. Okay, they play h3, so they're just kind of trying to maybe take away some squares from my pieces. All right. Remember, every time you play moves like this, you create weaknesses, especially this one. Look at these dark squares now. They're not nearly as solid as they were, right? Now, sacrificing here maybe becomes a possibility. Even something like queen b6 would immediately create this threat, right? I could take on g3. So I'm thinking about it. It's a pretty easy threat to deal with. I could just move, and I don't know if I want my queen to be over there. So I'm probably not going to go there, but that's something to keep in mind. So normally you would try to reroute your bishop in the Stonewall like this, but in this case, since they've already traded, my bishop's actually not too bad. I'm considering f4 to try to open things up, but then there's g4. And I don't know what's happening there. I don't think I'm quite ready to sack. I'm thinking about relocating the queen. Then maybe we might be ready to sack. Yeah, that actually looks like a very good idea. Any problems with that? Not that I can see. So let me go ahead and play queen e8. And maybe I will pause and bring my knight into the game first, but I'm just kind of setting up in case I want to go here and just immediately launch an attack, okay? And this is a nice solid move regardless of if I continue with this plan or not. It's a good open file. It helps control some of those light squares. Bishop. Okay, what do you guys notice? Do you guys notice anything about that? Well, hopefully you said there might be a tactic, because if we lure this pawn away, the bishop is now free for the taking. So the first move that we have to calculate is, can I just take this pawn? Does the bishop have any moves that would bother me? Bishop c5. Yeah, amazingly, it looks like they have bishop c5. So if we take, they go bishop c5. We can't block. They would just take us. If we save our bishop, then we have to be willing to sacrifice our rook. So we get a bishop and a pawn, and we open up the king. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go here, which actually stops that move. And now I think I am threatening to take it. So I don't know if our opponent saw that and noticed bishop c5, maybe got a little bit lucky that that move happened to be there. And now they are defending. Okay. So we can't fork because there's too many pieces, but that's something to keep an eye on. If we could somehow play c5 and d4 with tempo, we could fork the pieces. Here we could potentially sack a pawn and just open things up. Very interesting idea. We can jump our knight in and trade these pieces. I don't know how big of a deal that is. Queen h5, my kind of normal idea here. Still seems to make some sense. I don't see any weaknesses in my position that white can really take advantage of. So yeah, I think I will just play queen h5 here. And I'm lining up on h3. So if we move this pawn and the knight out of the way, which we can very easily do, something like knight e5 and f4, we can have a pretty nice attack here. So I'm kind of just setting that up. So maybe knight e5 is the next move. Knight c5 is interesting too. Okay, they do want to try to trade those bishops, which is a good decision from white, I think. I don't know that I'm going to let them do that. So what are my options to stop that? Just retreat? Because if I take, their queen, it seems to come to a very nice square. I don't think I like that. Bishop c5 looks a little bit shaky. I'm lining up. It is defended temporarily, but I don't know about that. I feel like it's maybe we just go back. Now, that's a little bit passive, but I guess what I'm thinking is maybe we can use this bishop as a target if we play h6 and g5. I could be off here. Yeah, bishop c5 is a more aggressive move, and then maybe this diagonal is actually a better place than on e7. E7 doesn't have a lot going for it, so maybe I will change my mind actually and go here. I just have to watch out for tactics, but maybe I can just retreat the bishop somewhere before I move the knight, and we should be okay. Yeah, let me do that. I think I will do that. e7 is just a little too passive for my liking, so I'll go here. And like I said, the queen right now is not very active, but if I would have traded, that queen's going to be very active on f4. It's going to do a great job of defending. It's going to start threatening to invade into my position. So I don't think we want to allow that. So that's why I'm avoiding the trade here and going with bishop c5. Okay, they are threatening now b4. Not a huge deal. I could just move my bishop back somewhere. If I want to try to stop it, I could play a4, because then we would have en passant. The issue with a4 is that maybe the pawn becomes a weakness and I lose it. I'm probably not going to mess with that. Yeah, my queen feels a little bit misplaced if I'm not able to open up the bishop here. So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. Do I play rook e8 and relocate my knight to get rid of this bishop, or do I play h6 and g5 and just force it to move right away? And then g4, just bust everything open and try to attack. That's kind of what I'm... Rook e8, knight f8 seems more solid. h6, g5 seems much more aggressive. This is definitely happening. You know what I could do? I could play rook e8, put my bishop, tuck it on f8. But he's going to play b4 and then b5, and he's going to get some nice pressure here. Okay, I am going to try to stop what white is doing. I know I said it's a weakness, but I do have b5. I do have knight b6. I think I have some options at my disposal. So wait, did I miss a tactic or did they blunder? Did they forget that this was defended? Yeah, I think they just blundered. They played that so quickly. As far as I can tell, they just miscalculated, forgot about the knight. I think that's what's going on. I'm going to take it. Unless there's some crazy... Oh, yeah. Definitely forgot about the knight. Okay. Okay, well, there you go. That's a good game. All right. Knights are tricky pieces. I mean, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful for the knights. And they're going to play on. All right. So when you're in a situation like this, where you're going to either lose a knight for free, or you're going to lose a bishop for a rook, or a rook for a bishop, I guess I should say, you always want to lose the rook for the bishop. Okay, you lose 5, you get 3, 2 points. If I lose a knight for free, I lose 3 points, right? So what I'm going to do is go here, saving my knight and allowing them to take my rook, and I'll recapture. King, knight, probably doesn't matter. Maybe I'll take with the king, leave my knight in an aggressive square. Okay, they're playing b3, so we'll save our rook. I don't think we can go anywhere here. Yeah, so we're just going to go back. The question is where? I think I'll go all the way back just to stay away from any potential attacks in the future. And I can swing over this way if we need to. And I'll just take this with my king. I thought they were going to resign here. Oh, they're not even going to take this. Wow. Yeah, that can't be a good decision. I mean, there's still some material there that they're leaving on the table. So, okay, I'll save the rook then. I will definitely save the rook. So what is it now? 2 rooks, 2 rooks. 3 pieces, 3 pieces. So we are literally just up a queen. We are literally just up a queen. Wow. And this person is going to play on. So, all right. Probably the only problem that I may face here is the time. So I'll just pick up the pace a little bit, but this should be a relatively easy game. What we're going to prioritize is trading pieces. So even there, the pawn structure getting messed up, totally fine if I can force a trade. So how can I trade some pieces? That's really what the question is here. Knight g5 looks like an option because if they don't take me, I'm going to be taking here with a check. If they try to defend that somehow, then I'll take here. Okay, so they do trade. There you go. We got one piece traded off. Every time we do that, the game gets a little bit easier. Let me save my queen. We have a thread here, and I'm probably going to... We could try to play knight h5 and then f4, force some more trades, and open the king up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I assume they're going to defend this first. They do. Okay, and I'm just scanning. I'm just scanning like any weaknesses, any things I can take. No, I don't see it, so let's go here. Again, they're not allowed to trade. I mean, they're allowed, but if they let me trade, it's just bad. It gets closer to the end game. So they're going to move the bishop somewhere, and then I'll play f4. Even sacking a pawn to open up the king makes a lot of sense. And this is actually a safe pre-move. The reason I say it's a safe pre-move is because the only way I could do that is if they move the bishop somewhere and all my pieces are on white squares, so I know that I'm not going to get attacked from a bishop. Right? Okay, make a trade. Like I said, every time we trade, we get a little bit closer. Let's see if we can get this bishop into the game now. Seems like a good time. I'm going to play d4. Why? Because I want my bishop to go on this diagonal. And then probably to d5 to, again, trade off another piece. So that's a very easy plan. I mean, everything's pretty easy when you're up a queen. So as long as we don't do anything crazy. Okay, it almost looks like there's a tactic, but they have nothing to defend the bishop, so we don't have to worry. Let's go with the plan. A little bit surprised that our opponent's playing on, but they have a right to do that, so we'll just finish out the game. Okay, there we go. That's a trade. I think I'm going to bring my queen. Let's see, we can go check, then they just go back. We can go here and try to come in this way. That looks maybe a little bit more dangerous for them. Well, but you know what? I actually like this because I can play rook e2. Once I invade with the rook, yep. Let's make sure there's no crazy g4 stuff. Actually, yeah, rook e2, g4, we have queen e8. Okay, we have queen e8, so we're fine. So I'll go ahead. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't somehow losing a rook there. Okay, again, there's this g4 move, but now we can take. Yeah, so we can play here. I'm just trading everything, and the game is very easy. On g4, there's a tactic, takes, yep. Take my queen, we get 2 rooks, which is a totally fine trade for a queen. And I'm up 2 rooks. Obviously still very easy. Now we can take all the pawns and win. Okay, and they do resign. At this point, 2 misses. I wonder what that was. Let's take a look at the game review here. So our opponent just forgot about the knight. That's what happened that game. They just forgot about the knight. Okay, 86. So we had a couple of mistakes there. Let's see. Around this phase of the game. So we developed the bishop, castled. Well, they had a good move, e4. I'm not exactly sure why that's such a good move for them, because it just looks to me like I could just take here without too much trouble. I don't really see what's the deal. Queen b3 check. Okay, I'm still not totally seeing it. Let's say I went queen e8. What are they going to do? So for some reason, Stockfish really likes this position for white. I guess because I'm not developed and they've just totally opened everything up, and now the rooks are coming in before I have time to coordinate my pieces. Also, this is kind of annoying. Okay. A lot to think about there, though. But apparently e4 was the way to go for white. Okay, but they didn't do that. They played a3, played a5. Stockfish doesn't like it. Okay, that was one of my misses. Yeah, sometimes Stockfish says misses, but yeah, we're gonna move on. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Obviously, you remember the blunder. Yeah, they just forgot about the knight. That's all it was. Forgot about the knight. Okay, let's go to the next game. All right, we got black again. Okay, against e4, I'll play the French here. I'm sticking with the chess mood openings for right now, at least. We'll probably finish out the rating climb with them. Then maybe we'll do something different next time. I'll have to see about that. Okay, so we're going to go into the main line here. And when they push, instead of going back to d7, we're going to go to g8. Okay, and the reason is we want our knight to go to f5, and this is the best way to do it. We can go to e7 or h6 and get to f5. When you go to d7, you're going to have a hard time getting there. A very hard time getting there. So we strike. And one of the downsides of f4 is they block their bishop, which gives us the option to go knight h6, which is a very nice square for our knight because we still get to f5. We don't have to go to e7 and block our bishop. And now it gives us the opportunity to jump in here right away and gain a tempo. Okay, so we're going to get a very nice position right out of the opening from this line. And it's going to be very easy for us to play. You're going to see exactly what's going to happen. There's not a lot of options here for white. They don't really want to give up that bishop, so they're going to go bishop f2. Then we're going to just trade a bunch of stuff, get a tempo with knight c6. Yep, this is what happens. I've played this a lot in Blitz recently. There's just not a lot of options for white once you go down this path. You don't want to lose your bishop. Here, you don't really want to lose that bishop either for a knight. And so you kind of have to retreat. Well, they're deciding to give this up. So I think the simplest and easiest is to just go bishop d7, renewing the threat. Maybe we could play queen a5 too, but no, let's just may as well break the pin. If they want to take, that's fine. We recapture with the pawn. Now, why do we take with the pawn? Because we take with the bishop, my bishop's kind of stuck. This bishop's actually kind of annoying. I don't really have a way to get rid of it. But if I take with a pawn, I can very easily play c5 next move, chase that away. Now we have these 2 pawns next to each other, which are ready to just cause havoc in white's position. So they are going to give me this one, which I'm definitely going to take. And then I'm going to play the move. Okay, they're going to take me. That's fine. We recapture. Now I'm going to play the move rook to c8. What am I threatening? You guys should be able to see this pretty quickly. Exactly. Bishop c5, and they noticed it as well. But that's totally fine. I'm still going to play bishop c5 because it's still a good move. And it comes with the tempo. And I'm very happy with my position. I got the bishop against the knight. Very solid pawn structure. We don't really have any weaknesses. And now it's probably a good time to pause and think. So we got in a nice position, but we need to figure out what the next steps are going to be. So what could potentially go wrong for me? The only thing that I'm seeing is f5 and somehow launching an attack here on my king if I castle, or if I don't castle. I'm still thinking f5 is the most dangerous move. And then maybe if the bishop somehow got chased away, if the knight would land there. But I don't see how that's ever going to happen because I'm never going to let that happen. If my bishop ever gets chased away, I'm going back to e7. I'm always going to keep an eye on that square. So this threat doesn't seem like a big deal. I could play a6 to just really stop it if I want, but I'm more worried about f5. So I'm leaning towards the move g6. And the whole point is like, I don't want to let f5 happen. And I'll just take it, right? Now, of course, they could play g4, but now your king is really weak, and I'm going to start to think about h5, and I'm going to maybe attack the king. So I definitely think g6 is the move here. And, you know, normally you have to be careful weakening your king side, like all these dark squares. But in this case, I have the dark square bishop, which is going to do a great job defending if I needed to. I can always bring it back like this, or I could castle, move my rook, and then bring it back, or I could put it here. So I'm not super concerned, even if white's knight somehow landed here and they're trying to invade. Like if I put my bishop there, I'm always going to have the option to trade, okay? I don't think they can sack. Maybe they want to play c4, things to keep an eye on. I'm thinking now we can probably castle. Maybe now I can play a6. Yeah, we'll play a6 now. Just taking away some options from the knight. A lot of times when you have a bishop, you put your pawns on the opposite color, and the bishop becomes very effective. You notice how I can just, sorry, I totally messed up the colors. The bishop can just slice through all your pawns very nicely, and usually a good strategy. They complement each other, right? Like you can see all of these squares are controlled. The pawn and the bishop are complementing. Occasionally you need to double up on a certain square, and you might want your pawns on the same color, but okay, that's not a move I considered. I actually wasn't paying attention, but like I said before, I always have this fallback move. Bishop e7, the bishop's covering everything, and so we don't have to panic, even though I missed this because I was too busy talking about bishops and pawns. But we're fine, right? We're fine. Now, we might have to give up the bishop for the knight, but then they have some weak pawns, and I think this would be a target for us. So I don't think they're going to do that. Maybe they will, because maybe they just want to get rid of this bishop, and they're not going to have too many more opportunities once I, you know, get rid of this threat. I'll be able to take the knight. So let's see if they go for it or not. I mean, the only nice thing about this, if white does it for them, is that if I castle, I have to be careful I don't get checkmated, right? Queen can come over and down and checkmate me if there's a pawn sitting there. But of course, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to do something else. But yeah, I mean, this is probably a reasonable move to trade these pieces. Whoa, g4. Okay, so let's think about what our options are here. Obviously, they want to play f5 and just attack me big time. I can castle and then maybe try to tuck in the corner to get away from some of this pressure or do something else. Trying to trade the queens could be a solution to my king problem. Queen here would force the knight to make a decision, and if it does come in, I would have the option to go check and force a queen trade. I don't know if I like that endgame position, but I could consider it. Also, I'd be threatening some pawns, so they would kind of have to react to that. h5 was my initial response here, but I'm wondering what happens if they just go f5. If I take, then they're going to maybe push or take. I don't think I'm quite getting enough counterplays fast enough. The knight is very annoying, so I think I should force the issue with queen a4. I would assume they're going to jump in one way or the other if I do that. And then I take, so there might be a pawn here. And then maybe I go for the trade. You have to watch out for the fork though. So maybe I would just take this instead. Yeah, I think this is the best option. We can't just sit around and do nothing. So I'm going to go queen a4. Let me just do a quick blunder check. Am I missing any tactics here? I don't think so. So I'm going to go ahead with queen a4. So like I said, we got away from the pin. But now I'm actually threatening multiple ways to take the knight, so they have to move the knight, as far as I can tell. I would expect knight f6. Oh, they go back. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so they want to keep the knight. Huh. All right, so what are my options? Queen c6 comes with a... not really a threat. I mean, that's not even a threat. They could just move. Queen c4 to get the queens off the board, I think makes sense. I think it makes sense. Queen c6 is also a good square. And we would be able to just kind of maybe use the g file to attack. But I think I'd prefer maybe an endgame here. Let's go queen c4. So we're going to try to force the issue. Of course, they could move away if they want. But then maybe I'll play b5, b4, and I'm starting to get some pressure on the queen side. You know, f5 is a move we have to kind of constantly be aware of, though. So this is getting to be a pretty interesting position quickly. Okay, so they're going to f5 immediately, but we do have the option to trade the queen. So also they take this. They are giving me this one. Yeah, I think actually just taking the free pawn. Now the king is very weak. If they take me, I could just take back. If they take, I could take really either way, I think. No, I'd have to defend here, so I'd have to take this way. But that's fine. I think. Yeah, I think we take the pawn. I think we take the pawn, unless I'm missing something. Okay. So take the pawn. Oh, I should have calculated f6, but I briefly looked that I have some options, so I wasn't super concerned with that move. But yeah, maybe I should have looked a little bit more, but I think f6 is fine. We just come over here probably with the bishop, keeping castling open as an option. And white now has to be a little careful with their king too. Okay, they take this way. We don't want to give up this d pawn. So I believe we have to take here. And yes, we've opened up the f file, but I do have rook f8. If I really need to run at some point at the right moment, I could probably run to d7. You have to obviously be careful right now because of the sack. But if they start to shift pieces over this way, then maybe we could make a run for it on d7 and hide over here. Oh, wow. They're sacking right now. Okay, I didn't expect that one. That might be a very good move, actually. Let's think about this. So what they want to do is checkmate me on f7. So if we do take this, we have to play rook f8, I think. Let's say they take. I take, check. I move here, check. Check. This is maybe a very strong move. I didn't consider this. Wow. All right, we got to be very careful here now. Let's see. Queen d7. Check. We lose our queen. We can't do that. Rook c5. No, that's just checkmate. Yeah, we have to play rook f8. Only move. There's no checkmate here. That's the good news. So I think they would be taking us. We could take back. Oh, we could take back with the bishop, actually. Then we avoid any checks. Okay, we take back with the bishop. Everything is defended. They could get another pawn. No, their rook is hanging. Yeah, I think that's going to be the way to go. Okay, we take here. We go rook f8 to stop the checkmate. Looks like we're holding on by a thread, but I think we're holding on. And if they take me, I'm going to take with the bishop. No checkmate, no checkmate. Wow, e6. Okay, I'm thinking if we take, they take. Rook d8. Okay, it looks like we're somehow surviving. If they take there, though, we have to get our queen on this diagonal somehow. Somehow. Okay, but I think I have to take. I think I have to take. Otherwise, do I have to take? Actually, hold on. What about rook d8? Maybe we could play rook d8 too. No. Actually, no, that's not checkmate. That's not checkmate. But yeah, we could play rook d8 or we could take. Okay, rook d8 though is threatening this. So rook d8 takes. Check, we run. Or we run here. Okay, I got to make a decision. Hopefully I'm not miscalculating something, but I think we can play rook d8. And I think that might be a little bit stronger. Sorry, my phone is going off here. Let me turn that off. Okay, we can't take with the bishop, so we have to take with the king. If we took with the bishop, the game was over, so this is a no-brainer. Check. Okay, now I think we go here. So we avoid the fork. This is defended. This pawn is actually in the way, just doing us a favor. Queen is probably coming down. And then I have to decide, does rook here work or not? Or queen here. Or queen here. Aha. Queen here, we hit the rook. Also threatening to force the trade. Okay, this might be the move, guys. Okay, but if they go rook f7, we could... Yeah, I think this is the move. Okay, so what I'm doing is ignoring this because I'm creating a more powerful threat. If the rook leaves, we've got the back rank. We can invade and hopefully get a checkmate. Yeah, that looks like a checkmate. So they can't go rook f7. If they try to go something like this, we're probably just going to go queen d5 and force the trade. I think we're going to be okay. The other problem is, can I not lose on time? Yeah, I think we just go to the end game here. I think we go to the end game. I think we have enough time. We're going to win this pawn, then we have an extra piece, and we should be able to win. I'm going to bring my king up to help take the pawn. I don't know what it was, but now I'm going to come on the 7th rank first. Okay, they're trying to invade, but it's not going to matter once I take the pawn because it defends. Okay, very good. I think I want to keep the king cut off. I think that's pretty good for me. Okay, let's try to bring my king. This is defended, so no problem. Let's go behind, stop the pawn. Gotta get the king over there. Okay. Okay, I didn't see that one. Maybe I push these and try to create my own thread here, actually. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, maybe we do create a thread here. Okay, they're going to stop me. Okay. I might have a tactic here, actually. I'm spending too much time. All right, we got to go here. There it is. That's the tactic I think that we needed. Oh, but how do I take the pawns? Okay, push. Yeah, this should be a win, right? Okay. Whew. Tough game. Oh, that's not checkmate. I thought it was checkmate. I totally thought that was checkmate. I literally didn't realize they could just run. Okay. Okay. Man. Tough game. Tough game. Yikes. That 95 sack was such a good idea. Okay, no, we were never really in trouble. Although I did throw the game in a couple of moments there. Yeah, very interesting game. All right, let's take a look at that. So I think we got a great position out of the opening. Yeah, we did. Yep, got the bishop. This was great. You could see already eval bar is in our favor. That's exactly what you want out of the opening. Against a strong player, every time you would take this if you could get it, right? Small advantage for black. Okay, so rook c8, bishop c5. g6 was the best move to stop this f5 idea. Okay, so everything good is good so far. Okay, here Stockfish says go ahead and castle, but a6 is a very close second, so no worries at all. 94... It's an okay move. It's not like nothing special because we do have bishop e7. g4 was bad and the response was h5. So yeah, I guess I was just worried after this. But Stockfish says now you go queen b5, trying to force the trade. And the idea is that there's not going to be any more attack because the queens are off the board. If they push, we just... Oh, what? Oh, because the knight is hanging, so you can actually take here and then take the knight. Okay. I was like, why are we giving up our bishop? I see. So, okay, moral of the story, h5 here on g5, which was my initial instinct. I just felt like it wasn't the right time, but that is what Stockfish says. Queen e4, nothing bad about this. Queen takes g4 was the best move. Yeah, okay, so it's not actually a sound sacrifice, even though it was scary. It's just not. And I think we did defend... Yeah, we defended nicely, so... And then obviously the time kind of made the whole end here harder than it needed to be. But this tactic, I think, won us the game right here. This tactic. Because otherwise I'm going to have a hard time because of the time situation. If he keeps the rook on the board and the rook starts jumping all around, checking me. So this was a much needed tactic. Yeah. Oof. All right. Good game. Good game to our opponent. And let's go to the next game. We're 2170. All right. Got the white pieces finally. Let's play e4 here. $10 says we're going to see a Sicilian. Oh, he mouse slipped. He didn't get the pawn far enough. He was trying and he just ran out of energy. Okay. So here we go. Caro Khan. I will play my bishop c4 line, of course. Oh, they're thinking, which tells me they might not be taking this pawn. So they might be playing g6 here, which I don't actually like playing against that move. Hopefully they don't do it. Oh, no, they did. Oh, this account was on May 1st. Oh, no. Uh-oh. They have lost some games, though. It's a brand new account, though, guys. It's like a month old. It's risky. This is risky. I'm going to go for it, but this is very risky playing this line against a new account. Bishop f5. Okay, they go e6. Okay. No, this is... I like these positions a lot. Bishop b4. Okay. What's that all about? Now it makes me want to pin this knight. Because they don't have bishop e7 unless they're going to waste time. Nope, they're going to just take it. Okay, we'll recapture. Yeah, this pin is pretty annoying. Maybe even knight e5 now. Let's think about this. Takes. They could trade queens. We recapture. The knight has to move somewhere. We almost have a cool checkmate, but they would play knight d5. Yeah, I don't think we can do that. I think we need to get the queen off of this diagonal. I mean, off of this file. So let me go queen e1. So now I can play knight e5, and on takes, it's black's the one who has problems, and they don't get to trade the queens off. Okay, so they're trying to get away from the pin. We can play rook b1, which looks like a very reasonable move. Let's just first check the sack. King has two options. King f8. I don't see how they could possibly survive that position after something like knight e5. Knight e5. They could take though. Maybe they could survive. Okay, also king d8. Okay, hold up. So let's say I take it and play immediately rook e1. We're threatening, let's just say queen e7. Checkmate. Well, it's not checkmate, but it's very powerful. So let's say they play rook e8. No, you can't play rook e8 because it's pinned. How do you stop this? Knight d. No, you can't move it. It's pinned if it's on there. And if your king is on f8, you can't do that. You're walking into this. We have checkmate. Okay, you know what, guys? I'm seeing that rook e1 is so powerful. I'm not seeing how black is stopping my follow-up. I'm not seeing it. So let's go ahead. I think it's good. Let's go ahead. I mean, even if there's not a forced checkmate or a forced way to win material, just the fact that I got 2 pawns and the king is stuck, the rook is now going to be stuck, the queen is right in front, I have literally every single one of my pieces is about to be in the attack. You have to just assume that that's going to be worth it. I don't even know if 95 might even just win the game immediately. If they take me, check, you have to take, checkmate. I mean, yes, there's rook e1, but maybe this is just even better. Let's see. Takes, let me just verify. Check. Only move is to either capture or block. If you block, it's checkmate. If you take, it's also checkmate. Okay? So, well, you can't take my knight. But I'm threatening checkmate. So this actually just wins the game. It just wins the game immediately. There you go. Nice move. Nice move. I think maybe rook e1 was going to win too, but this is just immediate. Yeah, there you go. Check and mate. That's a beautiful tactic. It's a crisscross checkmate with the queen and the bishop, where the queen is helping out here as well as the crisscross going on. Ooh, what a nice finish. Yeah, we got a brilliant move. Yeah, we did. Okay. That was a fun game. So I guess they weren't cooking. Oh, we were cooking. We played 94. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just really familiar with those kind of positions. I've played this so much that I'm super familiar with what to do against e6. And then they made my life easy when they kind of just traded this bishop for this knight for no reason, allowed me to get a nice pin. And then they didn't castle, right? And we were kind of setting up for an attack if they castled, but even here, yeah, and they just don't have enough pieces to defend. So that was the best move. Now they had to castle, only move to kind of keep the game going. And this is just going to be, yep, it's actually a forced mate in 4 after 95. There's no way to stop queen f7. So they had to go with what they did. And then beautiful, beautiful checkmate there. Look at that. Very nice. Okay, let's go 2179. Okay, we get white again. Let's play e4 again. So e5, I'll play knight f3. I've been playing the Scotch, except there's one line that I'm not sure if I want to play. It's if they play knight f6. Okay. If they play knight f6, I'm supposed to take this and then push e5. They go e7. We go. It's a super weird position. I've been struggling. I've been really struggling with that. I'm actually very happy to see bishop c5. This one is fun to play and pretty easy. We go back. We bring out our knight. They're going to probably develop or play d6. And what we're going to do is go queen e2. Why? Why do we block the bishop? Because we want to castle this way as quickly as possible so that we can attack over here. That's one thing. Also, when we castle, we get the rook involved right away. So even though we're blocking one piece, we're getting the rook involved. And This bishop's going to e3, and we need it supported by the queen so we can trade off this guy. Okay? Now, bishop g5 is not a move. Yeah, I don't want to play bishop g5. I think I just want to play here. Like I said, getting ready to castle. If they take, I just take back with the queen. No problem. Okay. And I think we just castle right away. I'm just wondering if it makes sense to play f3 first. f3 first. I don't think I'm really concerned with that move because I'll just trade. I don't know. Maybe I am, though. Maybe it's worth... Because if I don't trade, I don't open up the rook on my king. It's not a big deal. I could still do it. And if they try to play d5 right away, we have castles next. Yeah, I will play f3. This is generally the move you want to play anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and play it now. The reason we want to play it is it supports here, for one, but also we're setting up to launch the pawn storm, right? And we need the support there. Okay, they are going to play d5. We have to castle. If they push, they've got 3 defenders. We would have 1, 2, 3 attackers, but it's pinned. So we could add another attacker and win the pawn. Yeah. Oh, and if they trade first, hold on, let me just verify this one. Oh, wait a second. Castles take. No, then they don't have enough. Then they only have 2, and we have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Castling is the move. It's tricky, but you can see the power of getting this rook here right away. They're going to go for it. I think it's a mistake. So they're thinking that, okay, they have a fork. The problem is you can't make use of the fork right now because of this. So in the meantime, I'm going to go here and take the pawn. Unless I'm missing something. But I don't think so. Because if you take, you have to give up your queen, right? So I don't think they want to do that. Honestly, it's probably the best move for them because at least you get a bishop and a rook, and you get this annoying pawn, and you have some active pieces. So it's probably the best move. Okay, so they are going to sack the queen. But I did win a queen, so probably should be happy. Now that being said, we do have to figure out a way to get this rook into the game because if that guy stays stuck, we might have a problem. So I have options. Option number 1, we activate the rook by attacking. Option number 2, I say, no, I'm happy with my queen, and I just sort of play some normal moves and bring the rook over here. What is black most likely going to do? I mean, they can't invade at the moment because of my beautiful knight. But they might want to go there, take my beautiful knight, and then invade. That's a very annoying move. If they are able to do this and trade and come here, I will probably lose the game. Why? Because I have to go back, and the other rook comes over. Now there's all sorts of threats of this and this and this, and we don't want to deal with that. So what I need to figure out is how do we stop that? How do we stop that? G4, bishop here, bishop G2, takes, they invade before I get my rook on D1. That's a problem. That's a problem. Huh. There must be an easy solution here. I must be overlooking something. What is it? Unless this is just a good line for black and I was supposed to castle before f3, which maybe we'll learn after we analyze the game. I feel like there should be some way. Here. This is it, right? I can use my knight. I can play knight a3, bishop e6, knight c4. The idea is if I get rid of the bishop, then I can get rid of the pawn and solve all my problems. So knight a3, bishop e6 here. If they take me, I take them. If they push, I just take, and then my rook's in the game, and I'm happy. So knight a3 here. Okay. And if they try to stop me, maybe I play f4, and then this happens. Oy. It's not that simple, actually, which is kind of amazing. C4. What if I play C4, C5, guys? C4. My idea is to trap the bishop. So they have to play, let's say, bishop E6, C5. They take. They do have this annoying checkmate threat. Man, this position. Okay. Takes. We could take the bishop, check. We could sack. Takes. Then we're going into like some sort of even endgame. C4, bishop E6. What if I just leave it there? And play like, I don't know, knight A3 at that point? And then this knight might come in. Ah, dude, this is crazy, but it's kind of unpleasant. So knight A3, bishop E6 is still the move that I'm not sure about. Wait, hold on. Knight A3, bishop E6. No. That wasn't the line, because then I play here and I'm fine. It was knight E5, right? Yeah, knight E5 was the one. Because the idea is if I go knight C4, they're going to take it, play bishop E6, and then I have this annoying problem still. What if I play C4? What if I play C4? Oh, then we have this move, which I don't think we want to allow. Dude, okay. I'm not sure what to do, guys. Okay, wait, can I just... Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. What if I play C3 and bring the knight to D4 to take the pawn that way? So C3, bishop E6, knight D4. Takes. Yeah, maybe that could work. No, that's still just... Bishop E6. Takes. It feels like they're getting so much. All right, I'm gonna play knight A3. I don't know. I'm struggling here somehow, guys. I'm really struggling with this position. It's this pawn. This pawn is really a problem, and the fact that I can't get my bishop out, which makes me wonder if F3 was my mistake, and I maybe I should have castled first. I'm starting to feel like this was a mistake because of this exact line. Well, Stockfish will tell us. I thought for almost 5 minutes in a 10-minute game, that's not good. But it's also very critical position. So, yeah, they go there. Okay, this actually was okay for me, I think. Knight C4. I think we were okay with this one. I think they should have played knight E5. Because now I don't know. You're either going to let me take and win the pawn that way, or even just take it this way. Or you have to give up your bishop here, but then I'm starting to get my pieces out. Bishop D3, rook comes over. So yeah, I think they had an opportunity here. I wonder if Stockfish agrees with me. All right, let's pre-move this. We have to pick up the pace now. I think we got a little bit lucky there. Okay. Good. Once we get the bishop on D3, it keeps the rook out. We can take our time, get this pawn eventually, you know, using the rook and the knight to... We'll figure out a way. Yeah, position should be pretty solid once we get the bishop on D3, I think. Knight E5. I think I just move somewhere and then still go there. They want to trade, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, what you will notice is even though the queen is better than like a rook and a knight, if they have these very solid outposts for their pieces where everything is kind of defended, the queen can really struggle because you can't take anything with the queen if it's defended, right? You have to find undefended targets. And so that's just something to keep an eye on. Okay, I don't think I want to take that because then the rook comes up with the tempo and the other rook comes over and I'm going to get checkmated or something. I think we just ignore that and play bishop d3. This is the move that has to be played. Just scanning if there's something I'm missing. No. You have to play this and get the rook over to help. That's critical. Okay, once the rook lands here or here, we're probably fine. But the game is obviously far from over, so I need to play fast because of the time. I don't think they're going to take it. Maybe they will. No. Okay. Knight's trying to come here. That's a good move. I think it's a good move anyway. I can't go there because of this guy. Or can I? 85 though. Guess not. Okay, what I'm thinking here, guys, is rook e1, knight f4, drop the bishop back. And I know that's weird, but the point is... Hold on. e2, we take, they take... Ah. Okay, this is still very tricky. Rook d1? Okay, once they get here, then they're going to push. Ooh. Okay, so maybe I do need to get rid of this knight. There's too much happening on e2. We got to get rid of the knight. Yeah, I know I said I didn't want to lose a tempo, but we've got the bishop in place, so we're okay, I think. Okay, they're gonna go knight f4 or rook d8. I'm not sure which one. If they go rook d8, we can stop the knight. But if they go there now, I think we have to let them get this trade. Yeah, this is still going to be tricky. I think we can defend it, though, with our king. I think we can defend it with our king. Oh, rook. Okay, rook takes d3 is an amazing move. Oh, I didn't see that. That's an amazing move. I did not see that at all. The idea is I can't take with a pawn because I get forked. Wow. That's very clever. Okay, if they play rook takes d3, we might lose this game. Yeah, we might lose. Okay, rook takes c3. I'm going to take with the pawn. I'm going to force him to do this. And then I can at least take back with this pawn, play d4 and get this. And I have a couple pawns, or maybe I have one pawn for my piece. Yeah, rook takes c3 is an amazing move, though. I don't know if they're going to see it. Let's see. They could also just take this way, but then I think we can defend. Yeah, they found it. Okay, like I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go here, take back with the pawn, and try to get a massive pawns in the center to at least have a way to fight against the bishop. That was nice. That was a very nice tactic. Okay. 3, 6, 7, 3, 6. We're going to win one pawn, hopefully. Wow. Yeah, that was... I don't even know. Maybe I was just losing from the queen sack. I don't know. Like, I don't think I did anything really wrong. It's just a tough position that we are in here. Yeah, they can play c4 and hold on to this annoying pawn, which is really, really frustrating. Yep. And I'm gonna get flagged too. That's the other problem. And I can't even win this. Okay, let me go here. Try to take the pawn. I don't know. Rook f8. So, okay, we have to try to stop it. We have to try to stop it. I don't know if we can, but we have to try. And I may have to start pushing at some point here to try to get some sort of counterplay. He's got rook d2 though, which is going to stop all my counterplay. Yeah, I think we're just lost. I think we're just lost. Yeah. I don't even know what to do, guys. I don't even know what to do. I'm trying to get away from this fork so I can at least push my pawn. Rook d2 is probably still a good move, though. Maybe I go check and push the pawn. But the only thing I'm thinking... Okay. Now I can push, because if he goes there, I have time to play e5. Okay. Yep. Try to keep the king tied down a little bit. This annoying pawn is winning the game for black. This one pawn. They're going to play h5. I can't really do anything. Oh, they're going to give me this? Okay. I mean, I'm just grasping at straws here. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. They're going to come up and checkmate me, and I can't stop it, I don't think. Maybe I can try to stop it, but don't think so. Oh, interesting. They go back there. Okay. Only way I win this game is if they keep taking too much time and flag. That's the only way. Try and give him something to worry about here. Here we have rook f8 to not get checkmated. I don't know if they have another way to do it, though. They might. That's just going to repeat if they go back. Isn't it? No? Okay. I'm threatening to go check and get the queen. Well, they have check king here. What is happening? I can't go this way because then they just get the queen and win. Oh, they're giving me the queen. They're going to throw this game. Wow, no? Okay, I guess let's get the queen now. Okay, they're still winning, but... Can't attack that. I can't attack that. Oh, no. Ah, we're going to get a draw. We're going to get a draw. I bet we get a draw this game. Okay. I mean, I mean, I guess that's a good result. All things considered. 82. Yeah, they played some amazing chess until the end. Well, that's an old account. All right, let's just see. I guess I just messed up the opening. So, all right, I know that this is good. I know that this is good. No, F3 is fine. So, okay, castling, slightly better, but F3 is totally a move. So what did I do wrong? Castling, D4. Oh, no, this is a line? This is actually a line. Okay. I did not realize that this was a real thing. And it's relatively equal. It's only slightly better for white. And I needed to know what to do. The move is C3. Why did I rule out C3? Why did I rule out C3? If they go bishop E6, we just block. And if they take, we take. And if they take, I think I thought this wasn't going to be... No, but then we take the pawn. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't play C3. Okay, so C3 is the move. So this queen sacrifice is a legitimate line. And C3 is the move. Knight A3 is not bad. It's just not as good. But after this... Why does it have a question mark? It's the best move. Stockfish, I mean, the game review is messed up sometimes. That's the best move on the board. I don't know why it marks it as a... Anyway, Knight D4 is a great move. Knight H5 is a good move. Knight F4, yeah. They played amazing. To see this and to do all this stuff, they played amazing. C5, best move. C4, best move. Yeah, they played so... F5, best move. Rook F8's best move. I mean, they literally played like Stockfish the whole game till the end. It's not a new account. I'm just a little bit suspicious. I'm just like, how did you play this whole game like perfectly? That's the only thing. Every move was perfect. Until like the end when I assumed time pressure. So they're either a very good player when they have time to think or something was going on. And then the end, obviously, they messed it up big time. Which is why I kind of got the vibe too that something fishy was going on, because I mean, like this position, or like right here, this should be pretty easy to win. Like there's a lot of things they can do here, and they didn't know what to do. They had no idea what to do. So I don't know. Like for example, put your bishop here and just sack the bishop for the pawn, easy, and then you're gonna win that endgame, right? Yeah, I don't know, guys. That's weird. Even though we didn't lose the game, like I don't feel right about that. There's too many engine moves in a row, so I'm going to report. I could be wrong, but I just got some weird vibes there. Okay. Regardless, it was an exciting finish at the end. Did I actually have any better opportunities? I don't think so, because even sacking the... yeah, I know. I was always going to be losing. There's too many pawns, but... Okay, guys. Good episode. I hope you appreciated that one. 2177. We're going to 2200. So we might have maybe 2 more episodes left, I'm thinking. We'll see what happens. If I keep losing or drawing, maybe not. But yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Stay sharp. Play smart. Take care.